Hello everyone. The next topic which we will be discussing is about the disorders of the digestive system. So as we know, the digestive systems helps in the digestion or the conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable forms, which is called as the digestion. Now the digestive system, it is being carried out by mechanical and some of the biochemical methods. There are six digestive processes that are involved. For example, ingestion, secretion, motility, then digestion, absorption, and defecation. So these are all the digestive processes that are involved in the digestive system. Now there are some disorders also which also occurs in uh, some of the others' life. So we will be discussing that in detail. That there are six digestive system disorders which are being mentioned in these slides. So let's start with the introduction first. That what is a digestive system? So digestive system, it is a system of human body and it comprises of a group of organs which work together to convert the food into energy for the body. So this is a vital process because it helps living beings to obtain their energy from the various resources. So food we get, they undergoes processing before the nutrient present in them are utilized to generate the energy. So this processing is known as the digestion, and humans and the other animals have specialized organs and systems for this process. So they have specialized organ and system for the process of the digestion. It involves the alimentary canal along with various accessory organs which involves the pancreas, liver and the tongue and organ systems. In humans, the process is quite simple due to the monogastric nature. This means that we have only one chambered stomach, unlike other animals such as cow which have four chambers. So the cow have four chambers, but the humans they have one chamber. That is why the process is quite simple in case of the humans. So some parts of the nervous and the circulatory system they also play a role in the process of the digestion process as well. There is a combination of nerves, bacteria, hormones, blood, and other organs of the digestive system that completes the task of the digestion. Now, into everyone's life, a little digestive distress will occur. Whether it's a meal that does not agree with us or a lingering gastrointestinal alignment which requires lifestyle changes and treatment, digestive problems. So these digestive problems they are extremely common. So let's discuss this that disorders of the digestive system. There are six most common disorders, that is the gastro gastroesophageal reflux disease, hemorrhoids, ulcers, gastroenteritis, chronic diarrhea and chronic constipation. So these are some of the diseases or disorders which are common. So let's discuss each of these disorders in detail. So first is GERD. So GERD often presents as heartburn, but uncontrolled GERD can erode the lining of the esophagus and leads to the bleeding. So here in this figure what is happening, we have shown that it is a healthy and a GERD stomach which is being shown. So here what is happening, there is a esophagus and there is a normal process which is being done. So there is a food which is being going to the from the esophagus to the stomach, and there will be further the absorption and digestion of the food. But in the GERD, which is a disorder, there is some problem with the digestion of the food because there is a it will erode the lining of the esophagus and it will leads to the bleeding. So heartburn happens, but if it occurs regularly, it may be it may lead to GERD. So a medical provider can often diagnose GERD based on the description of the symptoms alone. So there are various symptoms which can describe this problem. But if the problem has been ongoing for some time, there is additional diagnostic testing which may be necessary to evaluate if the disease has caused damage to the esophagus. So, this condition causes pain in the chest so extreme that it's sometimes mistaken by the heart attack. So, if a person complains about the pain in the chest, then it may be mixed with the or it may be mistaken with the heart attack, but actually it can lead to the disease. This disease. So, controlling GERD usually begins with simple lifestyle changes. So if there is a simple lifestyle change, then this disease can be prevented or this disease can be controlled. So what are these lifestyle changes can be? For example, avoid avoid food at least 2 hours before the bed. So before going to the bed, at least for 2 hours, you should avoid food to control this disease. So over the counter remedies can also provide some short-term relief for occasional heartburn. But for chronic or serious GRD, for example, chronic means when it is for a long time, and a serious GRD, a prescription medication or even surgery may be necessary. If it's at the starting stage, it can be controlled by taking some of the lifestyle changes, but it is for a long time, which means it has become a chronic disease or it has become very serious, then it may leads to surgery also or it may leads to medications also. So this is the first disorder. The second disorder is the chronic diarrhea. So chronic diarrhea, it is the it's impossible to ignore because it is tricky to treat because it has many possible causes. So what are the common causes of a sudden or chronic diarrhea? If there is a sudden diarrhea, then the food poisoning, there is a traveler's diarrhea, and the stomach flu may occur. But if there is a chronic diarrhea, that may lead to certain diseases. For example, there is celiac disease, there is a food intolerance allergy, there is a milk intolerance or protein intolerance problem, IBS, and some of the medications also. So, diarrhea is tricky to treat because it can have many possible causes. It could be a result of the body's inability to absorb food, which is the celiac diseases. For example, the foods that are containing gluten, or a disease disorder like the bowel syndrome. So, bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, and infection over viral and even parasites can also be blamed. So, besides making it difficult to carry on daily living, there is a chronic diarrhea which can be indication of a serious problem and that may need medical intervention, should be evaluated by the medical professionals. So it may be evaluated by the medical professionals. So these are some of the sudden diarrhea causes and some of the chronic diarrhea causes. Next is hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids, so what are these? Some three-quarters of individuals aged 45 and older experience hemorrhoids. So there are several causes for this. Small swollen rectal veins from straining during the bowel movement, such as when there is a chronic constipation which has been occurring, or there is a family history to just plain spending too much time sitting on the toilet seat. So this is how the hemorrhoids look, and there is external hemorrhoids which is look. So there is an outgrowth or outgrowth of this, so they tend to cause pain or itching around the anus, so it will cause the itching around the anus. So so if, for example, the preventions which can be taken are over the counter ointments, there is a cold pack which may shrink the inflamed tissue, soaking in plain warm water which can help make the tissue softer and enable to heal. So by these things, these tissues may heal. But if still this doesn't work, what should be done? You should consult the physicians so that they can recommend additional treatment, which include the rubber band ligation and rubber band to prohibit blood flow to the hemorrhoid, and in which a small needle is used to inject medications into the vessel and cause them to shrink. These problems occur very common during the pregnancy. So this is the disorder of the digestive system. Now, ulcers. So here we will be talking about the peptic ulcers. So peptic ulcers to lifestyle factors like stress or diet, but recent research indicates that peptic ulcers, they are mostly caused by the either bacteria in the stomach, or there are various drugs such as ibuprofen and naproxen. The bacteria or NSAIDs, they can damage the mucus that lines inside the stomach, and they expose the interior of the stomach to acid, and they irritates the tissue and causes the peptic ulcer. So what are the causes here? So you can see there is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, Helicobacter pylori. So they are bacteria and various drugs which can cause these ulcers, peptic ulcers. And what are the symptoms here? The symptoms, they are abdominal pain, nausea, bloating, lack of appetite, weight loss, and heart heartburn. So these are some of the symptoms of the peptic ulcers. So if how a doctor will come to know about this, so a physician can run tests to determine if the peptic ulcer is caused by an infection, and they prescribe the antibiotics for this treatment. A proton pump inhibitor to reduce the acid in the stomach is also often prescribed. If the ulcers, they left untreated, then the ulcers can not only cause pain but may bleed and cause anemia. So this is the peptic ulcers, and if untreated they may bleed and cause the anemia. The next is the next disorder of digestive system is the gastroenteritis. So it is caused by the infection, either viral or bacterial, in the gut. So it is a gut infection. So you can see there are these are some of the viral or bacterial which are present here. So most people, they call it as a stomach flu, because there are some the symptoms of this includes the fever, vomiting, diarrhea, and headache. So bacterial infections, they are caused by E. coli and Salmonella, while the viral infections, they are include the rotavirus, or the that infamous scourge of cruise ships, norovirus. Parasites too can cause this disorder. And if the symptoms, they last for a few days, the best advice is to drink plenty of fluids to avoid the dehydration and try to make the best of it. Also, the use of good hand hygiene to prevent spreading the infection, and if it possible, ask others not to use the same bathroom facilities until your symptoms stop and you have a chance to sanitize the facilities. Symptoms that last for more than few days require further observation, because it may include testing for antibodies that can indicate an allergy or a sign of infection in the stool. That can help a physician prescribe the most effective treatment for this disorder. Now, the next disorder is the chronic constipation. So if we talk about the chronic constipation, is typically defined as having fewer than 3 bowel movements a week for 3 weeks or longer. So it may be the case that stools are hard and difficult to pass. So this may be the case here. And like diarrhea, the causes of chronic constipation can be difficult to diagnose. So it is very difficult to diagnose. Treating the condition can begin with the over the counter remedies such as stool softeners and fiber supplements. Adding more fluids to a diet, for example, water, may help. So, if those fail to bring relief, a physician can recommend some exercise to strengthen the muscles that move the stool through the bowel. So, these are some of the lifestyle or the causes that can lead to the chronic constipation. So what are these? First is that is a frequent consumption of the junk food. For example, pizza, burger, noodles, samosa. So these are some of the causes of the chronic constipation. Then excess intake of food made from maida. So maida or flour will delay in the digestion process because it is very it is a food that is very difficult to digest. So for example, the cakes, biscuits, noodles, so these should be avoided if you are having the problem of the chronic constipation. Insufficient water intake. So if there is an insufficient water intake, the stools will not be able to pass because there will not be a easy movement for the stools to pass. So there will be a problem of the chronic constipation. Excess intake of dairy products. For example, there is excess intake of cheese, there is paneer intake. So that will also leads to this problem. And eating food rich in refined sugars. For example, candies, confectioneries, sweets, artificial juices. Then eating significantly less quantity of fibers. So not eating the green vegetables, fruits. So that may also lead to the chronic constipation. Excess and frequent consumption of non-vegetarian food. So excess of these things may lead to the chronic constipation or the problem of the constipation because it will not allow the stools to pass through the body easily. So you should eat food which is rich in the fibers, drink sufficient amount of water, less consumption of the dairy products and less consumption of the junk foods. So eating food in a hurry and rapidly can also cause this problem, and not chewing this food properly for sufficient time. So the food should be chewed properly so that it can be broken down into smaller pieces for the easier digestion. Eating food while watching television and smartphone, so that may also lead to this problem. There is a chronic stress, so there is a problem of stress for a long time. There is a lifestyle problem. Then irregular eating time and resisting the urge to pass the motion. And excess intake of caffeine, for example, excess intake of coffee, tea, energy drinks, etc. There's a lack of insufficient sleep can also lead to this problem, and not doing the physical exercise can also lead to this problem. So this was all about the disorders of the digestive system, and these are some of the references. Thank you.